I just want to draw. Genuinely speaking, I didn't really have a plan going into this. I just know I just wanted to draw something, and that's when it came up with the idea of having a more action kind of different angle type of pose. So having the hand up and close in front of the camera, and then having him about to wind up a punch, making it more of a turning type of situation. I actually didn't really use any references for this piece. The only reference I used was my actual hand, and I didn't take a picture like how I usually state how to get certain poses. You could take pictures, or you can use the mannequins. I didn't use any of that. I just kind of went off the top of my dome, and I think after I got the base sketch laid down, I was really happy with it because it was proving to me that you don't need to utilize certain objects to be able to create what's in your mind at any given moment, but they do help if you're having trouble with getting those perspectives. But I digress. If you want to hear me talk about using different types of methods to actually getting different poses, then you should watch this video. It will be at top right corner of the screen. Also, while you're here and I got your attention, please like the video. It helps with the algorithm and gets me boosted to other people that might enjoy my content. But I digress. Back to the artwork. Something some of you may or may not know, I actually have my own comic series over on my website, eldendraws.com. It's XXA or Sign X Awakening. You could go and read it over there. But in this drawing, I'm actually drawing the main character Zeph. For a while, I haven't drawn anything comic related, or my comic related, specifically XXA, but I have been having the inkling of actually going back and creating a new chapter. It's been a while since I put out a new chapter, and I really want to do that. And being able to draw Zeph again, it makes me realize how much I like drawing my own characters. Because every now and again, I think about maybe doing some more fan art type of pictures, but I don't really enjoy those as much as I like drawing my own pieces. That's probably why I don't really make fan art videos how I used to do a couple of years ago, because I just don't enjoy it as much, to be completely honest. And it's not like I haven't been working on the comic. I have been working on my comic, but it's been more of a text file related. So I've been typing up the chapters and scenes and the dialogue and what's going to happen throughout the actual chapter, but I haven't actually drawn new chapters. So I'll probably be getting back into that. So look forward to more comic book content in the upcoming future relatively soon. And I should be getting back into that more relatively sooner than later, because it is going to be a long series I planned out for a while. For a while, I mean for years, of how the series is going to go down. I just need to finalize everything and actually draw it out. So 100% I am going to be making more content related around said comic series, or me making chapters and whatnot. There are other various projects that I actually want to tackle, one of them being making a new animation for this channel, or a new opening possibly. I really like the minimalistic opening that I currently have, but I do kind of want to change it or tweak it slightly more. Maybe not. I might just stick with the minimal opening that I have, but I do want to make a new animation of like the social medias, because that is a little bit outdated, and my main character Zeph no longer really looks like that, and I don't really want to portray him in that type of style or hairstyle anymore. I just want to have him more leaning towards the hairstyle that he currently has. If you go back in the comic, you can realize that he actually had that hairstyle for a couple of chapters, but in the later chapters he gets a different hairstyle, which I just wanted to have it more updated and growing with it. If you're interested in like how I progressed as a comic book artist, you can actually go back on my website and click the archives button. There in the archives there are older chapters, like really old chapters where I was doing physical paperwork chapters, and you could compare them to the newer chapters. And even within the newer chapters on the website, you can actually see my growth as an artist in general as the chapters progress, because even the newer made chapters are not as good as the more current type of chapters. That's pretty much how art usually goes anyways. You just slowly but surely get better and better at your craft, and I am very grateful that I actually took the time and effort to get better at my craft, even though it took years and years of effort. I've been drawing since I was like literally in elementary school, constantly drawing. So being able to actually see a tangible growth from the previous artist adventures that I had is really amazing to see, and it's always good to look back. Just like how I did in my previous video where I redrew a character that I did in 2016, I believe, and all the way to now, more recently, 2023. If you haven't checked out that video, then go check it out. It's very enjoyable to watch, and I'm really proud of the work that I made from it. One of the things I've been constantly saying, but I really want to hit home that I really enjoy about drawing, or the style that I draw in right now, is the skip step method. Going from a blue line work to the final line work essentially is just so amazing and saves so much time. Like, it still takes quite a while to actually get all your thoughts down in the piece and how you want to orientate them or make it so that it comes to fruition of what was in your mind. But being able to skip that one step saves literally hours of your life. So if you feel comfortable enough in your art style and want to actually try to save a little bit of time, do the skip step method. It works so well once you get it down right. It just does take a little bit of time to get the gears turning, but doing the skip step method is just so good in that every artist should be able to utilize it depending on the art style that they are partaking in. It's just one of the more useful tools that I've had in my arsenal, and I really love utilizing it, just like how I love coloring. Coloring, I again wasn't always the best at it. I do color better in a traditional sense, or I used to color better in a traditional sense until I started coloring the way I color now. So the way I color now is add a base layer, go over the base layer with a darker shade of a hard tone, and then blend that out. Then I go over that hard tone with a bunch of airbrushes, mixing from very light like the bright and then the darker tones again. So it's just going back and forth, making so that I can get a nice blend of darker tones and lighter tones and just meshing them together, and then just continuously tweak them and then add a little bit more brighter tones to certain areas to make them highlight and pop, and adding red blushes over the cheeks and the nose. I didn't do the lips because this is a male character and I didn't want the lips to look like they have a little bit of lipstick on it. I even changed how I color the eyes and the shirts and clothing with this new way of how I've colored digitally. But I do want to state that I will be still coloring in more of a traditional anime manga type of sense, where the animation is more flat tones, and then you just use the more cell shading in comic books and when I make animations myself, because ain't nobody got time for doing all this fancy stuff when it comes to actually utilizing it in a actual form factor other than a illustration. When it comes to comics and stuff like that, comics and animations I should say, it does take a lot more time to produce those pieces, and if I do ever color in my comic book pages, it's going to be with the original cell shading, and of course with the actual animations that I'm going to be creating for this channel, they're also going to be in the cell shading. So they won't always look like this, but when I do isolated illustrations, they will have more of a impact in the coloring job than compared to say of just me doing like animations. Again, I want to say that I really love how these coloring pieces have come out. They just bring so much life into it, just especially the way that I color just makes it so much more lively. And I'm very grateful for actually utilizing different methods and combining them into one to be able to create the coloring style that I'm currently using as of now, mainly because it gives me more confidence in my coloring capabilities than I had previously, and I'm just very grateful for that. Since I conquered the coloring aspect, the only thing I really have to do and work on is backgrounds. Backgrounds are the bane of my existence at the moment. They've always been the bane of my existence. It's mainly just perspective and everything like that I'm just gonna have to relearn, tweak to be able to draw it in the way I want to draw it, so it fits the overall narrative or the overall style that I'm trying to portray in a illustration or even in my comic. Because certain areas do use backgrounds. I do have them in the comic, but I just want to get better at them, so I want to be able to incorporate them more and more and more in pieces. So maybe like in the future, the overall background is the main character or subject of the scene, and then I have a character that just happens to be in that scene to observe or take in that background. So that is going to be my next big goal as an artist, is to conquer backgrounds. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed how this piece turned out as much as I do. I want to thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Peace. Bye-bye.